Archangel Michael warns someone is stopping your miracle right now. Don't skip this. A vital piece of information is waiting for you, and you really need to hear it. Today is today, chosen one. Not just any today, not the one you've only thought about, this one. When you woke up, you made a bunch of decisions that may or may not have led you here. That's very important. You're not just getting lucky from a universe that doesn't care. There is a special reason why this message is coming to you today. It's more important than you think right now. Today is the start of a new you. It won't happen next week, at the end of the month, when things get better, or when you see the proof you've been waiting for. Today, this today, and you'll understand why this message isn't just words by the end. You'll know what this day really means. That person who comes out of today will see what was planned for them, what's alive in them now, and who they were always meant to be. People have had special days in the past that divided their lives into before and after. Each day, these people shared something that wasn't their choice. It was given to them. When it was time, the blessing came. When everything was ready, the door opened. A lot of the time, these people didn't feel ready. Normal things, not fancy places, were where they were most of the time. There is already a choice made about you if you are here today. Something is moving already. You only need to accept what's coming your way. There's a reason why you're feeling the way you are right now. When I say lately, I don't just mean this week. I mean all the time that has passed since today. Now that I look back, the time that seemed too long was just right. You couldn't fully explain the time to other people, or even to yourself, but you lived through it with a quiet strength that most people couldn't match. I'll tell you exactly what you've been going through. First, there was no warning for a change. Before you could say it, before you had permission for it, or before there was any proof from the outside that it was real, something changed inside you. Things that used to make you happy no longer do. Your normal habits didn't seem real. It used to be easy to talk to some people, but now it wears you down. You started to feel like you had quietly moved on from the group of friends you were comfortable with. It looked like everything was fine from the outside. The way you lived and planned your days looked the same. Something had changed on the inside, though. You just wouldn't let things go back to the way they were. You tried to forget about it. You tried to remember the good things that happened and tell yourself that you were being ungrateful for being unhappy. You wanted to be the person who was content with what they had before. It didn't work, though. It's not that you were broken, but that part of you was done. Like a cocoon is done or winter is over when spring can't be held back any longer. That something inside you was too big for its old home, and it wouldn't fit together no matter how hard you tried. What some people might have called unhappy or restless, and what you sometimes thought meant something was wrong with you wasn't any of those things. You were changing on the inside. God's plan inside you was telling you no to a life that was never big enough for what you were meant to carry. It wasn't the restlessness that was the issue. The sign was the restlessness. You didn't need to change, your container did. And that signal has been getting stronger for a long time, which is why today is the day it is. The second thing you've been carrying is a tiredness that isn't coming from your body. That kind of person. Even though you slept, you can still feel it. Even though you got some rest, you still feel heavy. In a way that rest can't reach, it's been in your bones. Not tired from not getting enough sleep, but tired of acting like someone you're not anymore. It costs a lot to hold on to a persona you no longer fit. A huge energy cost that you can't see, that can't be fixed by coffee or good thoughts. It takes a lot of energy to try to live in an old space, while a new one is pushing from the inside. Never-ending, tiring energy that you can't see. There was energy that wasn't available for what really mattered, because it was all being used to look good. Your system is changing, which is what you call being tired. For the new you need a different fuel. Pushing, managing, always caring about how you look in front of other people, and acting like you could do things when you could barely stand cost more than living from your true self will ever do. You are not unable to handle what is to come because you are tired. It means you're letting go of things that were never yours to carry. This morning, that heavy feeling can go away. I can't explain the third thing very well, but you'll understand it right away. Things have been going in strange directions lately. Not big, obvious things, but strange things you've seen. Meetings that start at the right time. Hearing things from strangers that answered your private questions. You could open books to the exact pages you needed. Conversations that pick up where you left off with your thoughts. Little changes that made a big difference. A chain of events that doesn't seem like luck when you put them all together. It seems like someone or something has been setting things up. All of that planning has led to today. What you thought was a coincidence is actually two things happening at the same time. It's the same plan that shows up in different ways, leading you to the same place. Today is the day they get there. This message is going to that place. That place is the person you become from today on. There's more to you than just wandering around. You were shown to a door that says, your name, on it. You've been carrying a fourth thing, a deep desire. This is different from wanting more out of fear. That kind of hunger makes you think and burns. You feel like something inside you hasn't come out all the way yet and needs to be built, said, or given. You can really feel it when it's quiet, like when you're in between tasks or right before bed. When all the noise of the day has died down and what's real can seep through. In that quiet place, there is a voice that doesn't sound defeated or giving up. It sounds like the beginning of something that has been held up for a long time. That hunger isn't something you need to ignore or try to control. That hunger is the new you coming out. When you feel hungry, it means that the time to hide is over and the time to show yourself has begun. There's been hunger for a long time. Don't think it hasn't gone away because you haven't tried to fix it. This is because it's yours. It's a sign of the calling that was put in you before you knew what one was. And today, that hunger has a goal. The fifth thing is a weakness you may have seen in yourself, being sensitive. As if the people around you don't always value or even notice how you feel. Before anyone speaks, you can tell how people are feeling. You can tell when something is wrong even before there is proof. Being around people makes you feel bad, and you carry that sadness for longer than most people do. There are different ways that people have told you that you are too sensitive and need to toughen up. They want you to get over being sensitive instead of using it. What if being sensitive was never a bad thing about you? It could be the unique way someone built to experience the world for a reason. The people who will need you to carry their burdens one day, the people you will write, speak, serve, and help see things clearly. No one will say that your sensitivity is a weakness. It will be known as presence. They'll call it smarts. People who chose to stay open when their instinct to protect themselves told them to close down, will describe it as a unique kind of knowing. Your strong emotions don't mean you're not strong enough to handle what's coming. They're proof that you were made to do it. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community, through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Haven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give, and it will be given to you, is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose, join the conversation, and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today, join our community, and see what God brings back into your life. And now for something that has been waiting at the end of this message the whole time. You can get your mind back to how it was when you were young. That simple, clear intelligence that took in everything, saw patterns in the world before anyone named them, made things without being told, and learned without worrying about being wrong. Someone found something. They were led by a brain doctor in New York who has been studying this problem for over 20 years. At first, it sounds like it would be too easy to be true. There is a way to get back what was taken from you in your brain without working hard, practicing for years, or intending to do so. What if the confused thoughts you've been having aren't really who you are? It's been slow and hard in your mind lately. What if that's not how you're supposed to work? What if someone stole something from you, and today is the day it starts to come back? This today has a unique quality that needs some thought before we move on. It's like being near a door. From the outside, every doorway looks like any other. It's just the spot where two floors meet. But you know the difference between being in a room that used to fit you and being in a place where you can do something new. You've been there for a while now. You might not have called it that. What did you call it? Maybe you said you were waiting, stuck, or in that place where you didn't want to go up or down. But it was a way in. Today is the day you cross it. It will be hard for people who don't understand what you're going through to see how your life is changing on the inside. Okay, that's fine. The change on the inside doesn't have to be clear from the outside for it to be real. David was poured with oil at a certain time, in a certain room, while certain people watched. But the king that was being made in the fields was real even before anyone else could see it. That which you bring with you today is already real. It won't be shown until later. It is always the showing that comes after the formation is finished. Could you tell me more about what this today really means? It's not just a vague idea. For a few hours, it won't make you feel good spiritually, but then life will go back to normal. It's the clear end of a certain amount of time. That time was about hiding. the time that was meant to keep people safe. Time when there were ideas like, not yet, almost, hold on, and wait for what's being made to be ready. That time will end at a certain point. Today is the last day of that. How do you understand this? Not because of how you feel, or because of the emotional high you got from hearing a message this morning, but because the formation itself is proof. And because of the unique qualities you've developed over the years in the wild, that you couldn't have learned any faster or easier. Because you have a depth in you now that you didn't have before the desert. Because tough times made you stronger. Because you know how to keep quiet when there are no answers for a long time. These aren't just thoughts. They are the clear outcomes of a certain process. When a process finishes making what it was meant to make, it's done. You are done with the wilderness. The formation is now complete. What's coming now is different. What comes next is today and everything that starts with it. There's a reason for the signs you've been seeing. They don't just show up. There is no doubt that they show who is at the end of one time and the beginning of another. I want to go over two of them again before moving on, because they deserve more than just a quick mention. The sign that your happiness has changed. The way old things stopped making you feel full. I want to tell you the truth about how much this costs. It doesn't make you feel like you're making spiritual progress. There is sadness, confusion, and the awkward feeling of not being at ease in a life that seems fine from the outside. People around you may have noticed that you were quieter when you used to speak up, that you pulled back a little, and that you weren't as excited about things that used to get you excited. If they asked you if something was wrong, you might have said no, since there was nothing wrong. That's because the person who asked couldn't understand the answer. You've outgrown your old space, which is wrong, and growing too big for a space before a new one is ready makes you feel like you're in between sizes. It doesn't fit. The old things aren't big enough. You don't have the new things in your closet yet. You are in the space between what was and what will be. There really is a gap there. It feels different from the past and from the future. The gap is the place where you've been living, and today is the day that it ends. The world has worked hard to make people with this unique trait think it's a flaw, so the sign of sensitivity also needs more attention. Words such as too sensitive, too emotional, too much, too intense. If deeply feeling were a bug, it would be called a bug. They talk about people who experience the world deeply, as if they are flawed versions of people who experience it less deeply. That's what sensitivity is, the special skills someone has that allow them to really help others in ways that need a deep connection, not just managing from a distance. There is real support when you stand with someone and are fully present in their experience without moving away, making fun of it, or changing the subject to something easier. To give that kind of support, you need to be able to really feel things. It needs a nervous system that doesn't shut down when it comes to the weight of life. Someone who has been in the deep places and walked the hard paths needs to be there to help others get through them, because they know how to do it. You've been to some pretty dark places. It was needed for the formation time. And the fact that you have a lot of experience, which you may have wished was less, is now the very thing that makes you qualified for the job. The very thing that other people thought was hard about you is what makes you uniquely prepared. You don't need to fix how sensitive you are before you can be useful. That you are sensitive is the gift that makes you useful. Nothing new is going to come into your life today that wasn't there before. Today is just the beginning of the new you. It's because the years of formation built something inside you that you haven't fully allowed yourself to live from yet. The laying on of hands came before the crowning. It was possible to get the depth before the exposure. And this day doesn't mark the beginning of getting ready. It's over now. I'll talk about David. History doesn't remember the king or the famous person with the harp, songs, and armor. Let me tell you about the boy who was a shepherd. Before there was the palace, the throne, and the armor that didn't fit him, because he always fought in ways that no one expected, there was a field. Someone didn't invite a boy to the ceremony. There was no David in the room when the prophet Samuel came to Jesse's house to name the next king of Israel. That means all of the older brothers, the ones who looked the part, the ones who were big and strong. Samuel looked at each one, and every time he did, he had the same quiet feeling, not this one, not this one, not this one. Finally, Samuel asked Jesse if he had any more sons. Someone thought of the little one, the youngest, who was in the field. At that very moment, no one could see that the field was where the king was being made. There was no one watching or praising David as he fought the lions outside. He only got to protect a flock that wasn't even his. He couldn't sleep at night because he was watching sheep on cold hills, and no one told him what he was doing was important. He wrote music for the sky, but only God could hear it. How faithful he was even when no one saw. That did not waste time. That wasn't a bad delay for a fate that should have happened sooner. That made him a leader that people could trust, because the wilderness taught him things that no one in the royal court could have taught him. It took place in silence. You couldn't see it happen. It took place in a spot that no ambitious person would have picked. Where were you when your formation took place? There were no cheers in that place. At the time, nobody really got it. Doing work that no one praised. In the quiet place where your character was being formed without you fully understanding or agreeing. In the middle of nowhere, it felt like no one was there, but they were building something. The making of a certain type of person. The making of the new you. It did 3 things to you while you were just trying to get by in the wilderness. To begin, they learned things that lessons can't teach them. A different kind of knowing is formed by long silence, the kind that lasts for months or years instead of just minutes, the kind that goes beyond facts, the kind that knows what's true even before there's proof, the kind that is enough to prove itself. It doesn't need anyone else to say so. It was the quiet that shaped you, not the other way around. When you didn't know what was going on, when you didn't have words for what you were going through, and when you had to learn to trust something you couldn't fully see. That didn't mean you failed to move forward. You finished that advanced training for your inner life out in the field. The second thing the wilderness did was like surgery. You can only see it now. It took away something that was never really yours. The people in your life who couldn't handle your growth weren't really your friends or family. This was very clear from the pressure. Talking about it would not have. Deep down, you didn't really want the kind of success you were going after before the quiet time. It was what you were taught to want, and other people's expectations had pushed it over your true calling until you couldn't tell them apart. It was clear in the wilderness. It slowly took away the things that didn't fit the new you. Even though every move felt like a loss you couldn't handle, what you let go of during the formation time wasn't a failure. They did not show that you were doing something wrong. They were the wild things that made room for what was meant to be there all along. There were so many great options in Jesse's house that it had to be cleared out before the right one could be seen. And the empty spaces in your life, caused by people leaving, times ending, and parts of yourself that you had to let go of, weren't God leaving you. That was God getting you ready. The new you could finally stand after all the work that went into getting ready. The third thing the wilderness did is the most difficult to understand. It was making you stronger in ways that quick success could never have. People who never have to deal with real problems often can't handle what they're given. It's not because they're bad or don't deserve it, but because strong endurance, hard times, and a long time of trusting without proof and being faithful without praise are exactly what make being able to hold something big feel hard. You now have that depth. That depth is what makes you different from the person who went into the wilderness. What the new you brings with you from today to everything that comes after. David was finally brought in from the field. When he walked into the room where the oil was waiting, the gifts that were already there were not added. It had been shown that he was loyal. In the dark, he had to show how brave he was. The music was already made. The only thing that changed was that it was shown. The time of being hidden was over. It was time for him to show himself. He didn't get anything new from the anointing. It was seeing what was there the whole time. This is your Hoil Day. There is a word in the Greek text of 2 Corinthians 5:17 that most translations just say means new. The old has passed away, and the new has come. The word that was picked in the original language, though, is kainos. It's not like a new day comes after an old one or a newer version. It's just a copy of the same thing that was made later. It means new in a very different way. Never seen before, or something that didn't exist in that form before. That's the word used in Revelation to describe the new heaven and the new earth. They are not just better versions of the old ones, they are completely new. The New Jerusalem isn't just a fixed-up Jerusalem. Kainos it is. The brand new you that starts this, it is kainos today. The same old you, but better. Not a healed, better, or more advanced version of what came before. A totally different kind of person. Some changes were made to you that the world hasn't seen yet, because the time for building them didn't end until now. You won't be getting a continuation in the world that gets the kainos version of you. It's going to start. Take a deep breath. Just one. Right now. Don't try to grab anything. Do not try to make sense of or judge what was said. Take a deep breath. With the weight of a certain life, you are in a certain place today, in a certain room or space. You are still here listening and willing to be reached. You in every form that gave up before this, that broke trust and shut down instead of staying open today, didn't make it to this day. You did though. Whatever kept you going through the bad times, the desert, and the days that didn't make sense has brought you to this message today. That's a big deal. When you're in the formation time, it's easy to forget something important. It's not just about what the wilderness takes away. It's about how it makes you feel. The removals are real, they hurt, and they have to be done. But those things are only tools. They make room. The main job of the wilderness is to set up something that can't be set up through ease, comfort, constant forward movement, always feeling favored and known, and always seeing progress. Trust that doesn't need proof is what it builds. The difference between people who come back from the wilderness with something useful, and those who are just glad to be out, is this one trait. There is no such thing as trust that doesn't need proof. It's how you live. It became a part of you over time by learning to trust even when there was no proof, and finding that what you trusted didn't leave you, even when it didn't answer right away. You are now more like that way of being. It was built into your bones over time. And you will need it at levels that the old time couldn't have prepared you for in the new time that starts today, when the last time was shorter, easier, or always rewarding. It's also worth taking a closer look at what David says about crossing a threshold. David didn't pick the day that the prophet Samuel came to Jesse's house. He didn't plan to be anointed. He didn't try to stand out. He didn't make the room feel good, take care of his image, or set the stage for the fame that was about to come. He was out in the field. There was no ceremony, no crowd, and no sign that today would be different from the other days he had spent with the sheep on the cold hills under the open sky. He was doing the job that was in front of him with dedication. The day came not because he made it happen, but because all the work that had to be done to get ready for it was finally done. He had done all the preparations. Being ready to fight the lion meant that he was ready to face something that should have been too big for him, and not back down or wait for someone bigger, better equipped, or more officially authorized to handle it. In the field, they got ready for that. People would later talk about how brave they were to stand in front of the giant. But it wasn't built during the battle with the giant. It was built during battles that no one saw. That thing that happened would never be part of a story told by anyone in the field, where it was quiet and only God was present. That is what this today's season needs. Not the guts to fight in public, but that will come. The courage to be loyal in private and to keep going in the field, even though you can't see the palace yet. And that kind of courage is only built in the wild, not when things are going well, because better times don't call for it. In times of ease, different things are rewarded. They give rewards to people who show results, move quickly, do a good job, and get things done. All of those things aren't bad, but they don't build what the wilderness does. And the new time is meant to build on what the wilderness gives us. In addition to what it means in Greek, the word kainos also means something else about today. When kainos talks about making things and new seasons, he means something that wasn't possible before. Not only something that hadn't happened yet, but also something that couldn't happen until the events were just right. The new heavens and earth that Revelation calls kainos are not just old ones that have been fixed up. They need the old ones to die. This new you that starts today isn't possible in the old season because it lacked the things you needed for this new identity. The wilderness wasn't a side trip on the way to the new you. The wilderness was actually important for the new you to be able to happen. This means that the time you spent being formed wasn't wasted, even the days when you felt like you were being held up, the nights when you thought nothing was happening, and the mornings when you were asked to choose faithfulness without proof. It wasn't a slow process that could have been done more quickly. The depth that the new season needs was made with the exact method, the exact amount, and the exact length. And being mad about how long the formation took is really mad about how deep the work that was being done is. Length and depth are the same thing, but they are measured in different ways. It takes longer for roots to grow deep in the wilderness, and the new you goes back a long way. Take a moment to rest here. There is something you've been carrying around with you that this message wants you to hold on to, look at, accept, and let go of a bit. It costs something to be that involved. Giving it the attention it wants, being honest about what it wants, and being ready to be reached by something real instead of just managing it from afar. That's not an easy job. That's the work of the formation time that went all the way up to now. Before the message goes on, you deserve a moment to just be. You don't need to do anything or have another revelation. You just need to be in this space on this particular today. What has been said about the truth won't go away. After you breathe out, it will still be there. But the breath is important and you can take it. Plus, the formation time gave you something more that's tough to explain than courage, trust, or depth. It helped me deal with waiting in a way that is different from giving up. When someone gives up, they no longer think anything will change. The way of being you learned in the wild doesn't give up. That's not how it works. It's how someone acts when they're not sure about the exact time but know exactly what they want to do. You don't know when the doors will open, but you know where you want to go. You know where to make your calls. In your heart, you know you're not lost. The day is coming, and you're out in the field doing what you need to do. The active, not yet, is what makes people who come through the wilderness ready for the new season different from people who are just glad to be out. Relief is important, but the new season isn't mostly about it. In the desert, you learned how to be quiet and steady, not just waiting but also not forcing anything. You keep your eyes on the direction you know is yours. That's how the new you will approach everything that comes after today. The new you that comes out of today doesn't go into nothing. It shows up in a certain situation. There are 3 specific parts of your life that are already changing, even if you haven't said anything about them. Naming them is the first step to understanding them. The first part is your relationships. There are more changes going on than just people coming into or leaving your life. What's changing is who you are with the people you know. The new you talks from a different place inside than the old you did. The old you often spoke from an unspoken need, a need to be understood, approved, included, and chosen. It wasn't because there was something wrong with you, but because you were hurting and needed to talk about it. Because you're whole now, the new you can relate from a place of truly giving instead of secretly trading. The giving is clear because it's not really a request dressed up as a gift. It's normal to feel both sad and thankful during this time of change. There may be times when close relationships will change their place in your life without a big fight or a clear moment you can point to. It will just make them less important. That sadness is real, and you shouldn't try to avoid it or talk yourself out of it. But being sad doesn't mean you should go backward. It is impossible to undo the growth that changes the way your relationships work without also undoing the growth. And this season doesn't let you avoid growth. During this change in your relationship, don't waste time trying to explain yourself. There will be a strong need. People who knew the old you should give you permission to become the new you. To get the people whose approval you've always sought, you'll need to explain why the change is right. That's not necessary for the new you. Your becoming is not up for a group vote. Additionally, the energy you use to try to earn approval that you already have is for the new season, not the old one. Trust that the people who are meant to be with you in the new season will see the new you without you having to tell them. They won't ask you to get smaller so that they can deal with you better. They will not feel threatened by who you are becoming. They are going to feel something totally different. Some of them will have been waiting for this version of you. The second area is your sense of why you are here. It's where you get your drive that changes here. That old you would often wait until you were ready. Waited for the right qualifications, the confidence to grow, the right circumstances, and the loudest inner confirmation possible before taking even the smallest step toward your true calling. That wait for readiness model doesn't work for the new you. Not because you don't need to be ready, but because what you went through in formation season has made you stronger in a way that doesn't depend on being ready. We call it trust. It's the difference between someone who only moves when they're sure and someone who always moves when they're called. No matter how sure they are, during this change you'll feel exposed. It will feel like stepping out of a forest and into an open field when you start showing yourself after being safe while you were getting ready. Suddenly clear in a way that wasn't needed during the formation season. And it will feel strange to be able to see this. It's not because something is wrong, but because hiding helps you feel safe, which was useful during formation, but it's not how you should live now. Being uncomfortable with being seen isn't a reason to hide again. It's like opening a door that has been shut for a long time. Go through it. What you shouldn't do is think that this exposure is dangerous. Growth and danger feel different. Fear is a smart and protective way to shut things down, limit your choices, and keep you safe. Things get easier as things grow. There is a fear that comes from growth, that is like being on the edge of something big, not like running away from something scary. This holiday season, you're most likely feeling the second type, not the first. You learn to tell the difference as time goes on. Trust that the purpose you have inside you has power that was there before you knew it. You don't need to make it. It doesn't have to happen just because you want it to. You just need to stop getting in the way of what wants to pass through you. Your energy is not needed for your purpose to exist. It can't be said without your permission. And today, that permission is being given. What you do to get what you need is the third area. Here, what's changing is how it gets here. When you did things the old way, you had to put in a certain amount of effort and work hard. It was more about showing what you were worth than getting things done. The new you will learn that help doesn't just come through the doors you've been taught to pound the hardest. It can show up through a door you didn't know was there. It's possible to make progress from a direction that your old plan would not have thought of. During this change, you'll feel uncertain. To receive provision that doesn't follow the normal rules, you need a different kind of faith. There will be a strong desire to run back to the way you know. Even when it was hard, the familiar way was better, because it was always the same. That benefit isn't yet with the new way. That's not a reason to shut it down. For this reason, get used to how the new makes you feel bad. Not to do is to think that there is no provision at all if familiar provision is not there. At one point, the old riverbed looks dry and the new one can't be seen when a river changes its course. There is no sign that the water is gone at that moment. It means it's moving. Something is changing in the way you get money and things. That isn't a punishment. That is accuracy. The old channel is being taken down while the new one is being set up. What you should trust is that the person or thing that's set up today for you is not a God who starts something new and then cuts you off. There is a provision system that goes with what is being built in you this season. Also, the part that fits the new you will look different from the part that fit the old you. It will feel different, look different, and need different ways to be received, but it will be enough. It'll be plenty. There are steps to making a breakthrough, and it's very important to know which one you're on. When people mix up steps, they do the wrong thing at the wrong time. They push when the season calls for quiet and wait when it calls for movement. The first step was to hide. When everything you were building inside you was hidden from the outside world and from yourself most of the time. The gifts were there, but they hadn't been given yet. The depth was taking shape, but it wasn't quite finished yet. The calling was real, but it hadn't been given away to be heard. It was impossible to see what was going on. A lot of the time, you couldn't show yourself that anything was happening. You had no choice but to trust, and that trust wasn't always easy, safe, or based on proof. Step 2 was getting ready. There was the wilderness, the formation time, taking away and building up all at the same time. From the inside, it often seemed like more was lost than gained. The battles that were fought alone to count as experience. The faithfulness that was shown without a reward system that made sense. People said prayers into what seemed like a lot of silence. Step 2 took a long time. It took some time to go from an easy time to a breakthrough time. It was a real and significant time. And that's what really got the new you ready for what Step 3 needs. Step 3 starts right now. The third step is the today season. It's the start of the expression period and the end of the hidden period. And this is the most important thing to know about Step 3. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to show any more patience, loyalty, or endurance to get it. It was given already. In fact, you are already there. This today doesn't want you to put in more work. It means being ready to receive what has already been planned. Step 3 changes your inner design so that the new you acts in different, useful ways every day. You should give them names so that you can find them when they show up at normal times in the days after today. Today, you handle criticism in a different way. The old version took compliments like a wound takes in germs. It went in and stayed there, giving you information about your worth, your validity, and whether your whole goal was right. Critics are like weather reports for a skilled sailor. They give you information, some of which is correct and useful, some of which is just someone else's unspoken fear, and some of which is just noise. The new you gets through it without getting upset about what people say about your worth. No one can argue with your worth. These are only your methods. How the new you deal with silence is different. The old version saw silence as an empty space that needed to be filled. A gap between the noise that felt like proof that it was alive. The new you learned to trust what comes in the quiet in the field, the wilderness, and the long times when no one else is around. The noise doesn't always hold the answer. You can find the most important ones in the quiet. The new you knows how to listen to them in the quiet. The new you moves in a different way toward what it was made for. The old version moved in fits and starts, sometimes out of fear and sometimes because it was called. It needed to feel momentum before it could make it. It's not that the new you moves with complete confidence or without any doubt, but it is always the same. This is because the formation season taught the new you that moving forward doesn't need to be certain. Being ready to take one step toward the calling is all it takes. It doesn't matter how that step feels. The new you has a different view of time. For the old version, There was a space between where it was and where it thought it should be. By the years that seemed to be spent on the field, when they should have been at the palace, the new you has learned the lesson that the wilderness teaches over time. Every season is valuable. Every delay meant a change that the palace couldn't have made. Every door that was shut kept something safe that an open door would have let in too soon. There is no delay in the time. It's never been behind. It has been right. Fill out the form below with, "I see it." If something in this message speaks to you today, those 3 words should be your sign that you understand what is being said. I really got it, not just intellectually or politely. Finally, if you got this message and feel like today's word fits, please click the like button on this message, not just to get more likes, but so that this message can reach someone else who has been going through their own formation season and doesn't yet know that today has arrived. I still have something to say that this message has been building up to since the beginning. There is one more thing you need to know about the person you are becoming today before I show you what I'm about to show you. I will show you before this message ends. It doesn't end with who you are, your calling, or your spiritual growth. Nothing else does. It goes all the way down to the level of your brain, the physical foundation of the person you've been made to be. And what I'm about to say will explain something that years of spiritual practice, growth, and being faithful in the wilderness didn't fully explain. It will explain why it seems like I think more slowly than I used to, and why I get clear moments instead of staying clear. What's going on with my mind? It used to be clear and sharp when I was a child, but lately it feels like it's working behind a fog that I can't fully clear. Please bear with me, as this is the part that will change something. Another part of the blessing that needs more detail is how it works in relationships. This is because the relationship part of the new season is where the most specific and clear changes will happen in your daily life. The new you has a different way of dealing with conflict. The old you, especially when you were still in formation, often carried disagreements with a heavy feeling that didn't match the size of the disagreement. Because the season's uncertainty lay beneath the conflict on the surface, beneath the clear disagreement about a certain issue. When you ask yourself if you are becoming the right person and doing the right thing, having doubts about the relationships you were putting time and effort into would last. All of that extra weight made small fights feel more expensive than they should have. The new you doesn't carry that weight around with you. We now know the answer to that background question. There is no more to the formation. Now that you are a different person, you see conflict for what it really is, something much smaller and easier to deal with than it seemed when you were younger. Also, the new you gives in a different way. Moving on from giving that was really just a way to protect yourself gives you a special kind of freedom. Giving to feel like you're important. Giving is a way to stay in touch with people who might not choose you otherwise. Making yourself important by giving is a way to feel safe in relationships. There was some truth to what they said. It really showed kindness. Fear, on the other hand, was what held it together. And the new you gives without that framework. The new season brings pure giving. Not the offering of someone trying to fill someone else up so that they will fill them back up. It's the overflow of a full vessel. It's easier to give that way. It's lighter, and surprisingly, it makes connections that last longer and are stronger than the heavier version ever could. In terms of purpose, the new season also has a quality that is worth mentioning in real life. The new you will notice that chances that are really in line with your calling feel different from chances that are out there but aren't meant for you. Opportunities that are assigned feel like they are a perfect fit, while opportunities that aren't aligned don't. When opportunities line up, it's like being carried by a river's flow instead of paddling against it. You still have to work. The current doesn't do everything for you, but your effort goes in the same direction as the movement. This means that your effort creates something different, with more depth and speed than activity that isn't aligned. Part of what the new season will ask of you is the ability to turn down opportunities that aren't a good fit, even if they look great, and give you the kind of validation that the formation season didn't give you. If you don't see the new season coming, the need for approval that grew in the desert could make it difficult. This is because the new season will bring approval, and some of that approval will be tied to chances that aren't your job. The new you has a skill that the old you didn't fully have the ability to say no to an opportunity and accept approval at the same time. The old you needed to be liked more than it could afford to miss out on the chance. You can now tell the difference between being called and being seen. Before the message goes on, it's also important to talk about the practical side of the change in provision. Receiving is one of the most confusing parts of the new season for people who have learned that there are other ways to get what they need. Receiving, not working, not making, not performing. Provision that comes through a channel that only needs to be open for it to work. For someone who has been taught that nothing real comes without being earned through hard work, that might feel wrong. Both will be in the new season. It will include work that matters, work that is truly yours, work that is connected to your calling. But it will also include provision that comes through channels that your work didn't open. And being able to accept that without feeling guilty, suspicious, or compelled to immediately repay it by doing something for free that was given. That's a certain spiritual skill that the new season calls for. The 3-step timeline of breakthrough is also worth mentioning. It includes being hidden, getting ready, and coming out. The 3 steps aren't always easy to understand depending on how you experience them. They meet up. When we were getting ready, there were times when we felt like we were no longer hidden. There were times when it looked like the emergence was beginning before the preparations were finished. The preparations then went on. There is nothing wrong with the process. This is how spiritual growth works. It doesn't happen in a neat order like a project plan does. The steps are real. There is a real order. Getting that order, though, isn't always easy. While the season is getting ready, there are hints of the emergent season, feelings of the new identity that show up before they're fully expressed. The times when you saw a glimpse of the new you in a conversation, a choice, a creative act, or a brave moment. Those were real. They weren't different from who you are. In full form in the new season, they were sneak peeks at who you really are. Today is the first day of the new season, which means that glimpses like these will no longer be rare. Before getting to what needs to be said directly, there is one more useful lesson for this section. In the new season, the new you will face a certain temptation that the old you didn't have to deal with in the same way. The urge to show that the formation was worth it, to get results quickly enough to make up for the years that couldn't be seen, to show off your new identity at a speed and scale that would show that the wilderness wasn't a waste. To make the new season worth more than the old one in other people's eyes, you can't resist that urge with the new you by working harder. It gets stronger the more you try not to prove it. The new you instead digs so deeply into the truth of what you built in the wilderness that what other people think really doesn't matter as much. It's not fake that it's not important. Not as important after all. Because approval from others is no longer the source when you know what was built and can feel how deeply rooted it is. And someone who works from their true source and doesn't need outside confirmation of that source makes something that proves itself in the end. It's not because you pushed it, but because the roots are now deep enough to make the fruit. That's the truth about the new season in the real world. The fruit comes from the roots. The rocks form the roots. The new you believes in the roots. Today is the day that trust does something real. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. There is another part of the obstacles section that goes into more detail about what is stopping you from becoming the new you. It's not just your inner story, your doubts, your guilt, or who you were in the past. Being honest is also important for the practical side of this change. The new you doesn't come with a support system built in. The environments and people who helped the old you, the ones that were made for the container you're leaving, won't automatically change to fit the new you. Some of them are going to. Some of them won't grow with you, but some will. And it is real to feel confused when you go through a season of emergence without the full support of your old network. It doesn't show that your emergence is wrong. It's proof that your emergence is a real new thing, a kainos thing, which means that there aren't any support structures built for it yet. During this confusion, the new you learns how to get help from places the old you couldn't get to, because the old you didn't need them. Because they wanted you to stay in the old container, the people who told you you had to did so were, in a way, supporting you. That stress helped you stay focused. The stress is gone or almost gone, and you need to find a new source of focus. Your inner compass is that source that was built during the formation season. The knowing that doesn't need to be confirmed by someone else. The trust that doesn't need to be shown. These aren't just religious thoughts. They are the useful tools for finding your way this season. The new you also compares things in a different way. It hurt a lot to compare yourself to other people during the formation season, seeing how other people seemed to be moving faster than you, seeing the results they could see and wondering what was wrong with the work you were doing in the wilderness that you couldn't see. It hurt more to compare during formation because formation wasn't supposed to show results. It was supposed to make roots, but you can't see roots. Roots can't be compared. You can only compare what you can see. So when you were in formation, comparison meant comparing your hidden process to someone else's obvious result. The comparison was always wrong at its core. but the pain was real. It will try to come back in the new season. It won't hurt as much because the new you isn't still forming, but it will taste different. In the new season, it will be easy to compare how fast you're emerging to how fast you think it should be happening. To compare what you can see so far about the new season with what you can imagine it will be like in its entirety. Another big mistake in that comparison is that your idea of the full expression is where you end up. What we see now is just the start of the journey. You are not late for the goal. You're almost there. The new you knows the difference. It's never small what God does with someone who has been through a full formation season. It's always the same size as the depth. The depth that was built in the wild will be matched by the new season, and the new season will need all of the depth that was built for it to fully come out. The phrase might begin softly. From the outside, the change from the field to the palace isn't always quick or exciting. But the way is to fully express yourself. It's not the end. Today is just the start of being fully yourself as the Kano's version of you. The start. From now on, everything you see in your calling is the start of that path. Before the sacred closing, one more word needs to be said about the brain side of the new season. This is because the whole brain activation we talked about earlier is part of spiritual growth. Actually, it's the biological way that your spiritual depth fully shows up in the real world. Knowing something without thinking about it, having a creative idea that feels more like receiving than making, having intuition before proof, and being able to handle complicated things without getting overwhelmed are all signs that your brain is working the way it was meant to. All of these things show the full biology of your calling. There was more spiritual depth during the formation season. The brain restoration fixes the parts of the body that show that depth to the outside world. They are both real. Both are important. It's both available at the same time on the first day of the Kainos season. The roots of the formation and the brain hardware that has been fixed up so that those roots can show what they have grown. The readiness to move and the full mental ability to move well. Your calling and the way your brain is built so it can do its best work in the world. This isn't just a coincidence of time. There were good reasons why the formation season ended at the time it did. Part of what makes today special and unique for you is what Dr. Barron and his team discovered about being there at the exact moment of emergence after formation. The thing that's stopping you from fully expressing the new you today isn't your situation. It's not your past. That doesn't include the people who didn't see you, the missed chances, or the years that didn't seem to matter. A story you've been living in for so long that it stops feeling like a story and starts feeling like the truth is the hardest thing to get past. And that story needs to be looked at straight on today, not judged or avoided. Looked at. The old self does a lot of work. After years of hardship, waiting, not being seen in important places, and being faithful without being noticed, your mind does what it's supposed to do. And you can't blame it. It builds an image of you based on those experiences. You didn't mean to, or in the way you would have chosen, but over time, through repetition, and all the evidence pointing in one direction, you started to connect the problem with yourself. Because you thought that waiting was normal, that not being seen was normal, and that feeling fuzzy, frustrated, and not yet were not just things you were going through, but who you were. The worst thing about the old identity was that it became easy to live with. Not satisfying and not what you would have picked, but it's what you know. and being close to someone you know has a pull that happiness alone doesn't always match. As the person who was still waiting, you knew how to get by in the world. You had found ways to deal with the difference between where you were and where you thought you should be. Those ways were hard work. It was very hard to keep up with them all the time. But people knew who they were, and it's safer to be known than to be new. Even when what you know hurts and what you learn is the beginning of the life you were meant to live. The new you has to give up that way of getting around, to get rid of the strategies that were used during the waiting season and the management system that was created for a time and place that no longer exists. And the part of you that learned to stay alive by being predictable under your old identity will fight this release with a strength that will surprise you. That's because when you feel like you're fighting change, your defenses are probably just doing their job, keeping you from having to hope, expect, or become again. This season of doubt also has its own feel. Not the same as the doubt you feel at your lowest point, or the survival faith you feel in the wildest moments. This doubt shows up at the entrance, at the start of the breakthrough, not at the base of the split. And it's smarter than the ones that came before. That doesn't mean you can't do this. What if this falls apart? It asks. It asks, what if you get it and then lose it? It asks, what if this is just another version of the things you hoped for before that came and then didn't stay? Watch out. Safeguard yourself, it says. It states, the distance between where you are and where this is pointing is big enough that the fall, if it comes, will be the worst one yet. Please understand this, that voice is not wisdom. Being wise keeps you safe from real danger. Your nervous system learned from real life that being open to risk is what gives you hope. That voice is your protective part. Being open to risk means you might lose, and giving up hope is the best way to keep from losing. It's a structure that kept you alive. It doesn't belong to you during the breakthrough season. That voice is called by the new you, but you don't listen to it. I hear you, says the new you. Even though I know where and why you were built, I'm still going in this direction. There's also the guilt, that heavy feeling that what you're going through is betrayal of something. A lie to the people who knew the old version. A betrayal of the groups that thought staying where you were would keep them safe. A betrayal of the relationships that were built around a different version of yourself than what those relationships thought you would be. In places where you used to be comfortable, you're now quieter. It's not cold or on purpose. It's more like someone who has too much to say in a conversation. You've stepped away from some situations that used to define you, but not with anger or a statement. Instead, you've done it in a way that shows you've grown, in a way that the old situations don't fit anymore. From the inside, this pulling back has felt like a form of guilt. Like you should explain yourself to the people who knew you before. Like you should say sorry to the season that made you who you are for leaving it. You can grow beyond the season you're leaving. You can go in a direction that other people around you can't follow right now. Protect what God is building in you from the weight of people who haven't been given the chance to see it yet. The wilderness you walked through can truly and greatly change you, and you don't have to go back to that wilderness. You can come into this today as a different person than the people who came into every other today. You can turn into the person you were always meant to be. Also, you don't have to tell anyone how you became what you are. Before I say what's next, I want to make it clear what we've been through together in this message so far. Why? Your brain had a wide range of intelligence from birth, but the world slowly took that away. Not because it was trying to hurt you, but because you were born into a world that wasn't designed to protect your views, and because you were taught to value some ways of thinking over others. The constant, low-level stress of adulthood keeps your nervous system on high alert, which keeps your brain from working at full capacity. Through the years of formation, years that were needed to build depth in you, but they hurt your brain in ways that haven't been talked about yet. Something became darker. That's right, it wasn't your spirit, your calling, or your connection to God that got you through the desert. It was your biological system, the part of your mind that was working at half capacity without you knowing or agreeing. What? There is a way back to what was lost that has been studied, proven, and even backed by a Nobel Prize. It's not a theory or an idea. It's a way to connect the two sides of the brain that can be measured and checked. The state that 98% of kids naturally work from. The state that the world slowly loses until less than 1 in 1,000 adults still has it. And it's not lost for good. It can be fixed easily and quickly, and you won't have to do anything more than 8 minutes a day. The who is you, the person who made it this far today. Which one has roots that are deep enough to handle the next growth? They were the ones who went through the formation season without knowing why it was important, and came out of it with more depth than sudden success could have given them. Today is the start of a new you that is both spiritual and mental. That's important because the calling on your life needs more than just a willing heart. For it to work well, the brain needs to be fully charged. There is a pattern in your experiences that shows you exactly what was taken away. You'll know what it is when you hear it, because you lived it. When you were young, your mind worked in a way that adults may not understand. A sharpness that was easy to get. Unasked for creativity that just showed up. A knowing that didn't feel like thinking, it felt more like getting something. You picked up languages more quickly. You saw links between things that other people didn't see. You had problems in an instant that you later worked on for hours. It used to be that learning was pretty easy, but now it's not. That started to change at some point, but no one made it clear. There was a slow change. It happened so slowly that most people never even notice it was one event. They just notice that their mind isn't working as fast as it used to when they become an adult. It takes longer to find a word. That ideas that used to come to you easily now need certain things to happen in order to come to you: peace, quiet, and no stress. And even then, they don't always come. That learning that used to feel natural now takes work that learning itself didn't cost before. Most of the time, this is put down to getting older, stress, or just getting less skilled over time. It's not age, though. You can't expect a mind to grow up that way. It's when the two halves of the brain stop talking to each other. Though they are meant to work together, the left and right sides of your brain have been working more independently from each other over time. And the integrated state in which both hemispheres work together perfectly is the one that made you remember how easy it was to think when you were younger. It wasn't your fault. There was nothing you did or didn't do that caused it. Living in a world that was made to stimulate the left side of the brain and calm the right side was bound to lead to that result. The world of due dates, bills, performance, comparison, and low-level stress all the time. That world consistently lowers the state of the whole brain. not because it's bad, but because it's not made to keep your brain working at full speed. In Manhattan, there was a woman who grew up with a family story. She had been told by her mother, for as long as she could remember, that they were born under a bad star and that bad luck would always follow them. Her dad had worked hard for a company for 22 years. It's been 22 years of getting up early, staying late, and making things that last. The business shut down the week he was finally promoted. The level of pay he had worked for over 20 years never came through. The family curse, the pattern that couldn't be broken, and the bad star they were born under were all parts of her story. After that, she ran into what I'm about to describe. After a few weeks, something changed. The romance in her marriage came back after it had turned into more of a polite living together. A meeting idea she had helped her team solve a problem they had been stuck on for months. She got a raise. I remember something she said. As she spoke, the family curse is gone. A lot of what she thought was a spiritual inheritance turned out to be a brain inheritance, and it could be changed. This is what science says for sure, Dr. Roger Sperry won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1981 for showing that the two sides of the brain work together and are not just backups. The ways they think about things are very different. They light up the whole brain in a way that neither half does by itself. University of California researchers studying flow state saw Steve Jobs in this state when he talked about how the idea for the iPhone came together in his mind. They also saw Taylor Swift in this state when she performed for 80,000 people and felt like the music played through her, not from her. And they saw Nikola Tesla solve problems in his mind so quickly and accurately that it took engineers years to confirm in the real world. It's not magical in a supernatural way, that state. It has to do with the brain, as proven by science. It uses the whole brain, and 98% of kids naturally work from it. I was like, what? When I first heard about the work that Dr. Daniel Barron and his team had done, it could be the same for you right now. It sounds too easy, too simple, or too boxed in for something so important. How it worked, though, was what I kept coming back to. The way it works isn't new. In 1981, it won the Nobel Prize. That honor didn't go to Dr. Roger Sperry for a theory. He got it because of a proven discovery about how the brain works. In a controlled research setting with special equipment and expert supervision, Dr. Barron and his team did brain synchronization work for an hour. They then found a way to condense that work into 8 minutes of targeted audio that you can use at home. The machine really works. What it does for you is the only question, and that's exactly what the guarantee is meant to do. This message has been building up to something since before you found it. Everything we've been through together, reading the signs, finding your way in the wilderness, letting go of your old self, and naming the problems. All of this has led to a foundation, not just an idea or an inspiration, but a biological and neurological foundation for the new you that today is starting to bring forth. Not everyone should do this. When people see what I'm about to say, they'll probably just scroll past it. They found a place to stay along the way. They let the fog in. They were okay with slowly forgetting words in the middle of a sentence, not having ideas when they were needed, and being so smart that it felt like a childhood memory and not the present. They were okay with not being noticed in rooms where showing their full potential would have made a difference. They thought the version with only half the power was the full version because they didn't know the full version was still out there. You're not most people, though. you're still here today. You still want to know why your mind is acting the same way it always has when it used to feel clear, sharp, and open. The person who asked that question, the one that won't give up, was chosen for more. And the research that Dr. Daniel Barron worked on for more than 20 years was made just for that person who won't believe that the dimming will last. Neuroscientists in New York City, led by Dr. Daniel Barron, worked for years to make clinical neural synchronization technology that you can use in just 8 minutes a day. From something that used to take an hour. The genius switch is what they call it. There is no brainwave track on it. This is not an app for meditation. That machine isn't worth 7,000. It's a precise audio sequence made to connect the two sides of your brain and bring back the whole brain activation that Dr. Roger Sperry discovered and won the Nobel Prize for. That's what you do. You shut your eyes. 8 minutes. At the level where the most important change has always happened. The synchronization starts without you even being aware of it. People who work in the same field as you looked over this work and said it was worth 500. What else is available? Neurofeedback machines that you can use at home cost 7,000 and sessions in person cost 300 an hour. So the 500 price tag makes sense. Barron didn't set the price at 500 though. People who need it the most should be able to get it, not just people who can afford the clinical options. When it came out, it cost $49, which was more than 40% less than what it was worth in research. There's also an extra 10 off today because you're here today. You can find the link in the page's description or in the pinned comment below this message. It costs $39 to get the Genius Switch, and for that, you get 4 extra things. A guided visualization made by one of the best Calm app developers that shows you what your life will be like in 4 areas as the Genius Switch starts to work. This grocery list includes the 10 most common foods in American homes that actively hurt brain function. It also includes 5 specific ways to cut your food costs by 100 or more per month. Much of what we learn today about abundance and attraction comes from a book that is more than 100 years old. It costs $20 online, but it's included here for free. And an infographic that you can print out and put somewhere you can see it, that shows the 5 habits that are most likely to help you build the future you want. There is a solid money-back guarantee for the Genius Switch and all 4 bonuses. Put it on for 8 minutes, 80 times, listen. You can get your money back in full if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. One important thing, whole brain activation, or neural synchronization, tracks are search terms that you can use on streaming or video sites to find content. A lot of those tracks were looked at by Dr. Barron and his team. Most of them didn't even have brain synchronization technology built into the sound. They were just given that name to get more views. It took years of clinical development to make sure that the actual targeted audio sequence was built correctly. It can only be bought from Dr. Barron and his team. That's not just a restriction for the sake of it. Getting the real sequence instead of a copy is important for a reason. If what I said makes sense for where you are, if you're still hungry for the mind you were born with, Dr. Barron made this available. You can find the link to where you can get it in the description and pinned comment below this message. You only need headphones and don't need to do anything else besides closing your eyes for 8 minutes. That's where you go if your spirit tells you to. If you get this, type Amen in the comments. Say with that word that today is the day that the genius you were born with starts to come back. And before the holy end, there's still something that hasn't been said about today. It's not just a day on the calendar today. In its history, the word Wednesday comes from the name of a person who was wise and traveled long distances. A person who is known to go far, cross worlds, and move things from one place to another. It makes sense that the day of the crossing, when you move from one part of your life to the next, when you are anointed, and when you start, has the sound of going and becoming in its name. Today is the crossing day. Today is the day that the chosen one takes the first step. From the field to the palace, this is the today that brings everything the formation built. Not just as an idea, but in real life, at normal times on this particular day. The new season is in the choices you'll make before it ends and the conversations that will introduce the new you to the world. The hours of today that are still left belong to this season. These hours are not empty. These are the first few hours of the new season. Things that happen to them are important, not because you need to do something amazing to prove what this message says. You don't. The statement is still true, no matter what happens in the next few hours. But how are you going to live the rest of these hours? Today is the start of a new story. Notice how present you are in the ordinary moments and how willing you are to let the new way of being, the open hands, the receiving child, the rooted builder, the grounded truth teller live in them. Today still needs to name one more thing. Who you are right now in the body and soul you inhabit this morning, afternoon, or evening of this specific today. Not what you've been through or what's available to you. Because the fresh start you're making today isn't just an idea. Shapes have names, and this one has a name. Your job is to carry the light. Places that have been unclear for a long time without knowing why become clear because of you. You don't always know the right thing to do. You don't have to act like you know something you don't. It shows up as something stronger and more specific than knowledge. Something changes when you walk into a room. What they're saying changes. It's safer for the things that have been floating without being said to land where they belong. Some people told you things they didn't tell anyone else. People tell you the truth not because you asked for it, or because you asked the right questions, but because something about being around you makes them feel okay with telling it. That is a very nice gift. That is the exact job of someone whose calling it is to bring light to places that don't have it. There is a price for this gift. You know how much it costs. Some places, conversations, and relationship dynamics make you feel drained in a way that doesn't make other people feel drained. This isn't being weak. Being a channel for something that isn't yours costs you this. You are not the source of the energy you bring into dark places. You are in charge of managing it, though. You know when to go in and when to stay safe. Part of what today marks is a new level of wisdom in these people in charge. The new you holds the light with more confidence and less wariness. Because the new you doesn't want to give something it doesn't have. The new you gives from a place of overflow that starts with the start of a new season. Breaking the cycle is what you do. Patterns that ran through your family, your community, and the relationships, finances, and spiritual life you were born into that were true for the people who came before you will no longer be true for you. There's no reason to carry them better than the people who did it before you. You were given the job to be the place where the cycle meets a different outcome. It didn't come with instructions for that job. Nobody wrote down how to break out of a cycle you grew up in without being able to see it. Besides that, it gave them a strong conviction that the old way wasn't the only way. Being unwilling to believe that things that have always been true will stay true. It means being ready to be the first person in a line to try something new, even if it means being alone and uncomfortable. The same assignment was being carried by Ellie from Manhattan, who thought her family was born under a bad star. It wasn't just a spiritual idea that the family curse story was told. It showed a pattern in the brain that had been passed down through learned behavior, through a nervous system that had been working at only half of its potential for generations. The cycle breaker doesn't just get back what they lost in the brain, they get it back for everyone. Based on Dr. Barron's research, we can say the following, for example. When someone's whole brain is activated again, it can change how they interact with others, how they think, and how their children see them work. You're not breaking the cycle just for yourself today. You might be breaking it for people who come after you. You are telling the truth. It's not possible to fake an appearance for a long time without spending real money on it. Pretending to be fine when you weren't was one way. You tried to keep up appearances that didn't match your true self. Putting on a public self that was made to handle what other people expected. That performance cost you in ways that people who aren't built like you don't pay. It's not because you're weak, but because you were made for a way of life that requires your insides and outsides to be in sync. It's clear when those two things are out of whack in you. It shows in how you feel, how you sleep, how much energy you have, and how you think. If someone else doesn't have this task, misalignment might be quiet, but it's not quiet in you. That misalignment doesn't follow you into the new you. The new you is based on the idea that what you show on the outside is a true reflection of who you are on the inside. There are no complicated parts, shadows, or problems in the new you. This is because the new you learned during the formation season that being fake costs more than being vulnerable. That being truly seen for who you are is worth more in the long run than the years of work you put into keeping up a version of yourself that was meant to be acceptable instead of real. There will be places in the new season where the truth you carry won't be made welcome right away. When what you clearly see isn't what the room wants to see. Where just being there, without saying a word, makes people who aren't ready to be honest feel uncomfortable. You should still go into those rooms. The call on your truth, telling skills doesn't depend on the room being ready. When the truth is told to someone who isn't afraid of it, the room often gets ready. You are the builder. Not always literally, though that does happen sometimes. The building that you need to do for your task happens in places that can't be seen. You make places where broken people can stop acting like they're not broken and start really getting better. People who have had conversations with you know that those conversations can change their lives. You don't earn trust by showing off your skills in impressive ways. Instead, you earn trust by being there, consistently showing up and staying. Things you build last longer than the time you spent working on them. What was built in your present stays with people long after you're gone. The conversation is over, and the season changes. You can't just make that happen. That's how you can tell if a builder is working from a deeper level than just strategy or technique. You're the voice, not only in the literal sense, though that is one way to look at it. When people around you feel things they can't say, you know how to say them. Everyone in the room knows the truth, but no one has been willing to put it into words, because that would mean accepting it. There is sadness that has been floating around without landing, and there is hope that has been too fragile to say out loud because doing so would make it open to being taken. When you say those things, you give words to what is really going on in the room that isn't being said. Things that have been held for too long are put down. How people breathe is different. In a way, the conversation is more real now than it was before you spoke. You might not always think you're the best person for the job. There are times when you might not want to talk. That voice that asks, "Who are you to say this?" You know that voice. However, the formation season has shown that the call on your voice didn't depend on that voice being quiet. It was up to you to decide in the end whether to answer the call or stay quiet. Today is the day to make that choice. All of these things describe you at the same time, not separately or one at a time, but as the unique identity that the new you carries. The person who brings light, tells the truth, and builds in the invisible. The person who breaks the cycle and helps future generations understand. This is the voice that changes places by telling the truth. These jobs are not separate. They are both parts of the same calling. The new you that starts today is the first time the world will see that calling come to life in full. Feel free to write, "I am ready," below. Not, "I hope so," or "I'll try." Type it as the statement. It already is a statement that has the weight of every formation season behind it. Since you're ready, that's what today says. And before the last words of this message, before the end of what started when you first opened this today, I want to say something over your life. There needs to be something more than just teaching, recognizing, forming, studying, and state of identity. Something so deep that it changes everything about you and makes today a day that feelings and doubt can't touch or shake. Follow me. This is how the message got to you today. Let me keep this identity for longer than it feels good. Because most of the time, when someone hears a list of their gifts, callings, and specific tasks, they receive it in a polite way instead of a real one. A receiving that kind of nods at the words, but doesn't really let them land where they're supposed to. The area below the show, the area below the management, and the real inner space where you live when no one is looking. I want these words to get to that place where some of the old identity's furniture is still set up, where the "not yet" story still has some of its old decorations up. That's where the declaration needs to land right now. Your job is to carry the light. It's not just when you want to. Not only when the light is clear in your own life, but also in the wild, during formation, and during different seasons. In the desert, there were times when you touched someone and didn't even know it. When the tired word you spoke turned out to be just what someone else needed to hear. When the proof of your faith that cost you something kept someone else going. Even in the middle of nowhere, there was light. It was doing its thing through you, and you had no idea it. To carry the light instead of making the light is what it means. It's not coming from you. You are the carrier, and you can't turn it off when it gets in the way or feels like too much to carry. The light moves through the carrier on its own. That's how it works. On top of that, the season when carrying the light felt hard and tiring is over today. The light from a full well comes with the new season. Breaking the cycle is what you do. To fully understand this identity, you have to sit with something that makes you feel bad. A lot of the time, the people whose cycles are being broken don't celebrate in real time. People who are stuck in the cycle don't always see it as a gift when it breaks. When they see it, it can be a bother. It can seem like a judgment to them at times. They sometimes think that the act of pulling away from the pattern, which felt like connection to them, kept it going. The person who breaks the cycle is often the most alone person in the room. They don't feel alone because they are, but because what they are doing, breaking the pattern that everyone else had grown used to, requires a kind of standing out that makes them feel alone, even when other people are around. You know what it's like to be alone. When someone sees what other people are used to and can't just adjust to it, they feel alone. Someone is lonely when they don't want to be a part of the relationship, situation, or family story that makes them seem smaller than they really are. That's not pride to stand out like that. That being different is what the assignment is for. And the cycles that end with you don't just end for you. Someone who was supposed to carry a pattern ends up being where that pattern stops. What then builds up in their place could spread in the same way the original pattern did, but in a different way. What gets built is the question. The answer is the new you, the version from Kainos. Which pattern has roots that are deep enough to hold something that the other patterns couldn't? You are telling the truth. In the new season, your identity needs to show itself in a certain way that the old season kept you from doing. That phrase that tells the truth everywhere, not just in private, one-on-one settings or safe places where telling the truth is expected and welcome. The saying that brings truth into places where it hasn't normally been present, into settings where a polished version of reality has been used, and into conversations where what isn't said is the most important thing. The truth isn't just carried by the new you in safe places. It's with the new you in unsafe ways. This is not the same as starting a fight just to start one. This is not delivering unwanted information in a hostile way and calling it a spiritual task. Someone who doesn't try to hide the truth about something that everyone in the room knows to be true is calm, grounded, and not hostile. Those things are different because of their tone, their roots, and their motivation to work from safety, rather than the need to be right. The new you carries truth in the same way that the wilderness carried it in you during the formation season, quietly, without drawing attention to itself, and without needing everyone in the room to agree with it right away. Because you learned in the wilderness that everyone doesn't have to agree with you right away on what's true. The only thing it needs is for the carrier to be loyal. You are the builder. If the new season had come earlier, the structures you build will be different from those you might have built now. They will be different in a certain way. They will be made to last, not just look good for a short time. Structures made out of the need to show off skill, get results quickly, or justify the years of the formation season by producing results quickly are often impressive, but only last for a short time. They are powered by the happiness that comes from finally getting to do something after a long wait. That energy is real and valid, but it's not what the builder needs to use for the new season. In the new season, the structures you build will come from roots, from knowing what lasts over time rather than what looks good at the moment. From what we know about why things fail and what needs to be done to stop those failures. You know how things fail because you've seen things fail in your own life and in the lives of people you've cared for. Because you learned what works during formation season, you know how to stop them. There is silence. Faithfulness that can't be seen holds. Truth that doesn't need to be approved right away still stands. These aren't just nice words. These things must be present in order for something to last. They are used as building blocks by the new you, not just as ideas. You're the voice. And this might be the identity that the new season needs from you the most. Because certain things need to be said in certain rooms by someone who has been trained to say them without holding back. Things about how much the pattern really costs. Some things about the real shape of hope have been there the whole time. But no one with your background had been brave enough to speak them in that room yet, so no one could see them. It's not always easy to be the voice. You have to be ready to speak up first. There needs to be some time for silence after something is said, so that everyone in the room can figure out what to do next. You have to believe that the truth is more important than controlling how people hear it. You were ready for that during the formation season. You got used to being able to handle the silence in the room after the truth is told, because you practiced it in the wilderness. Being loyal without applause taught you to be independent of how people in the room responded right away. It was the depth of your own experience that helped you find words for other people's depths. You're the most ready person in many of the rooms you'll be going into to say what needs to be said. And the saying starts with the start of the new season. Just one more thing about how this today is a collective thing. This doorway is shared by more than one person today. There are chosen people all over the world who are going through the same formation season and stage. They are facing the same today. They speak different languages, follow different traditions, have different amounts of money, and live in different places, but it's clear that the journey they are on inside is the same. The signs are the same. It is the same in the wild. The depth that is being made is the same. The new season of Kainos starts today in the same way. This isn't just a coincidence of time. People of a certain generation are part of this movement because they were made for this season. You are an important part of it, not just a small part. What you do with what today starts matters for more than just your own story. This story is important to the bigger picture of what this generation of chosen ones is being taught to do. The way this message got to you is just as important as what's in it. You didn't find this by accident. The exact steps that got you here, the search that came before this one, the suggestion that led you here, or the quiet pull that drew your attention this week in this direction. That order wasn't by chance. That word was the result of a long string of small alignments that all led to it on that particular day. In real life, that means the message was ready for you while you were getting ready for it. Along with the shaping that happened inside you, what would find you when it was done was getting ready. In the woods, you weren't by yourself. The wild area was being worked on by both sides at the same time. Your insides and outsides were getting ready to receive you. They are both ready now. They are both going to get there today. People you think of right now aren't always the ones who will be most affected by the new you. You will be able to reach people in ways you haven't been able to before, with a voice that is still finding its full range and in places that haven't been built yet. People who are being formed almost never have a better idea of what the formation will do when they are still in the wilderness. David wouldn't have been able to fully describe what was going to happen when he was in the field with the sheep. He couldn't have known how big the story was. He had been in the field every day, and the scale showed up anyway, not because he planned it, but because the formation was following its own plan. Your group has done exactly what it was supposed to do. You didn't always work together perfectly. You worked together enough, but none of the people who were formed in the wilderness do. You could have left the field but stayed there. You stayed faithful even though it cost you a lot. You believed the process even though it wasn't giving you any clear proof. It has done what it was meant to do because the formation has its own faithfulness that doesn't depend on the person being formed wanting it to do so. Today is proof of that. Before the sacred closing really starts, take one more deep breath. Not the breath of someone getting ready for the next thing. It's the breath of someone who has made it to the end of a long journey and is now standing at the threshold of a new season. The breath of someone whose today has come. Before I end this message, I want to take a moment to note something that is easy to miss when writing something like this quickly. Making it here, not just to the end of the message, but to this very day, shows that your ability to receive is still there, that you are still willing to be reached, and that you are still open to something real after everything that happened in the formation season. People all over the world woke up today and immediately turned their attention to something else. Not because they are less important or don't care about the truth, but because it is real that becoming something is heavy and avoiding it is easy. And on a normal morning like today, it's easier to walk in the direction of avoidance than the direction of formation, truth, identity, and depth. But you made a different choice. Your attention is now on something that wants you to be honest about who you are and what you're carrying. Making that choice takes faith. A quiet, ordinary, looking act of faith that really cost a lot, and I want to honor it before I end these words. The source that sees you today sees everything, not the Sunday best version of yourself who knows what to say, is thankful and has answers. The one that sat in a dark place on nights you wouldn't talk about in public and wondered if anything was moving. The one that kept going even though there was no proof that it was worth it. The version that let people off the hook didn't really know how to forgive. The version that stayed true in the field, in the dark, and in the quiet when no one was paying attention. People have seen that version, the real one, the 3 a.m. version, the one that got the job done, but no one praised over and over again. And this today is the answer to what I saw. It was impossible for the response that was always on its way to arrive before the formation was finished. You have to leave some things from the last season behind for the new one. That isn't going to happen by working hard or making a choice every morning. At this moment, think about the weight that has been with you during the formation season. It's not as an idea, but as a real thing with a history, a texture, and a temperature. It's something you know. You've been pulling it behind you for so long that you've forgotten what it's like to move without it. What the person who was waiting looked like. This is the story of someone who was not yet. It was the doubt that kept hope at bay to protect you from the pain of hoping wrong. When you become more than what the people around you thought you would be. The bad stars story. Think about what happens when you let go. Not by force or ceremony, but just by putting out your hand. The rope breaks. You can still see the weight on the ground, but it's not moving with you anymore. It is sitting in the field of the last season, and you are at the beginning of this one. Allow it to hit the ground. There is something in you today that is stronger than doubt and older than resistance, and I want to talk to it directly. That part of you that got the formation in the middle of nowhere without knowing what it was for. What part of you stayed true in the field when the palace seemed forever out of reach? Being honest over doing well, having depth over making a good impression, and doing what is right over what is expected of you. Even when the real thing was expensive and the good enough thing was cozy, that part of you has been growing. Not the performance, not the strategy, and not the version meant to please, but the real one. The one that was made in silence and for which the oil was always being ready. Now, protect what was just given away from anyone who wants to take it back. Years of being exposed to and being let down have built up strong defenses. It's hard for them to give up. They'll try to get what you dropped back. But they will find that something has changed inside you, because what has taken root in you through today's message and your willingness to receive it goes deeper than the systems that try to get back to the old ways. There is always more truth in the calling than fear in it. The lack of resistance doesn't hold the new you in place. The new you is held in place by your roots. Your roots are also not very deep. The wild is where your roots were formed. Now I say this over you, not to cheer you on or push you forward, but as a statement made over a life that has earned it. You are the chosen one who made it all the way through the wilderness to today. Because you were chosen, your roots are now deeper than any enemy that will come against the new season. You are the chosen one, and your Kainos awakening starts today and never ends. You're not the only one who feels this way. Today, there are chosen ones in cities, countries, and situations that are not the same as yours, but they feel a lot like what you've been going through. People who woke up today and weren't sure why they were so heavy. People who have been through the formation season but don't know how to describe it. Coming to the same door today are people who speak different languages, follow different traditions, and come from different parts of the world's long history. Your emergence is not the only one here. There are many people in this, and you are one of them. Send this message to anyone who came to mind as you read it. Someone who has been rather quiet lately. Someone who is carrying more than they are saying. Or someone who is going through a change they can't quite explain. You don't need to explain any more. You don't need to explain it. Send it. The fact that you chose to do this could be what makes their today find them. That's how it is. One more thing. You are not the person who got here at the start of this message. The person who pressed play was carrying something that you just set down. The person was still using the navigation system of the waiting season, working from the old identity, and handling the world using the tried and true methods of someone who wasn't quite at their today yet. You are no longer that person. And what happens after this? From now on, things are different. Not because things change on their own, but because you change. Because someone who is really and significantly different at their core will grow fruit that is really and significantly different in the same soil. The becoming has started, and it began today. You're not leaving this message the same way. What was said to you today really hit you, deeper than the feeling or the first reaction. It hit you in the same deep place where the formation took place, the roots grew, and the oil was poured in the field before the palace was seen. Things that are written there today will always be there in a way that matters. It's better to write, "I am the new me," than "I will try" or "I hope to be." Type it as the statement it already is, a statement that stands on the same ground as everything that today has sealed in. Since you are, since today says so, because the shape is complete. You are about to enter your divine future, But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "And heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall, share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now, join the family, and see your heavens open. Your like on this message is your amen, your agreement in person. Your finger does something on your behalf to say yes to what you received today. And if what was given here should go to someone else tonight, let the likes bring it to them. Stay if you want to keep in touch with the messages that have been prepared for certain people this season. There will be more. What was said here today and more. More words that will come to you right now, when you need them. And for those who are interested in what Dr. Barron has created, the link is in the description and the pinned comment below. If this message has made you want to know more about the mind you were born with, click on the link. If your spirit says yes, and if it feels like the right next step for today, then go ahead and do it. Someone in your life has been surprisingly quiet lately. They aren't saying much because they are going through a change that they can't explain to the people around them. They are going through the same formation that happened to you. They haven't been able to explain it. That language could be this message. Send it to them, not without an explanation. Send it. If you listen to that quiet knowing, it's possible that their today will come true. What was said over your life today should grow deep roots that can't be reached by doubt, opposition, or old problems. May the new you that starts today be strong enough to last through every season, through the highs and lows, and through the everyday todays that come after. Let the two sides of your brain work together again, like they did when you were young and everything was still possible, in the way that kids know it is possible. Your calling was put on you before you knew what it was. May it come out fully in this new season. May the voice inside you that has been quieted find its full range and the people it was meant for. When the genius switch stops being quiet, may it fully wake up again. May the Kano season that starts today bring more wealth than the old season, with all it did, could have made on its own. Today should be the day you tell the story. One day, when this day has come to its fullest, you will think back to this exact moment. You will know today, at this exact moment, with the exact openness you brought to hearing these words. You'll know that the day, the declaration, the formation, the oil, and the fact that today was picked for you, before you even knew it yourself, were all real. You're not going to leave a message today. You're ending a season. The most important part of any message is the part that ends it on a holy note. The teaching tells you things and gives you something to think about. It gives the experience a framework within which to be received and understood. This part, though, when the words stop telling and start declaring, that's when they reach places where teaching can't. Today marks the place where it goes, the permanent record, the inner space where the oil is poured, and the room where David stood when the ceremony was finally his. What I want to point out in this thankfulness before the declaration is that your journey is not a polished version of it. Not the wins, the important steps, or the proof that the formation was real. I want to call attention to how heavy it is when being in the wilderness felt like being alone. There were nights when faithfulness was picked from a reserve that was almost empty. The ones you had with yourself in the pit when no one else was there. The times you didn't keep going because you had faith, but because stopping felt like giving up on something you couldn't quite explain. The loyalty that can't be seen. The prayers that seemed to end in silence. People kept their trust, even when there wasn't any proof or light or darkness. That's all in the room at this very moment. It was in this today's message with you. It was in you that the message first caught your eye. This is the setting in which everything said, here was understood. All of it is seen by the source that sees you. Sees the load that was carried to get here. Looks back at the years that made today what it is today. Can see the depth that the wilderness created and that the new season is meant to show. What is being said from that seeing? What the answer is to that particular faithfulness is today is the day of this message, this doorway, this start. Other than the general weight of the formation season, there is something else that should be in the release. You have been carrying around a certain version of yourself that has done its job and is now done. The version that knew how to wait, stay true in the dark, and keep going even though there wasn't much proof to look at. That version was brave. It's also not the version that the new season wants. The version that knows how to receive is what the new season wants. Not the one that knows how to make money. Not the version that knows how to make things to show that it exists. This isn't the version that needs to show how valuable the formation is by getting great results quickly. The one that knows how to just hold open its arms and let what was planned come in. That is not at all the same way of being. The letting go that this closing calls for is the letting go of the way of being that was needed in the wilderness, the way of earning, proving, and maintaining, and the taking on of the way of being that is needed in the new season, the way of being of a child who just receives. Jesus' advice in Matthew 18:3 isn't just an idea, which is how it's usually seen. In this case, become like little children means to behave like little children. Not just feel like little kids, but become like kids in the way you think about things and how you react to them. A child doesn't think about a gift before taking it. Kids don't ask how much the present costs. Doesn't question whether the gift is really theirs. Doesn't save it to earn it later. A child puts out their hands and takes something. That's how you should act in the new season. This morning is the start of that. The way of being for someone who was made to hold something big and is now ready to receive it. This is the declaration, which is said not because you need to be reminded, but because there is something spoken in the real world that fills the air, the room. And the fact that you are living now is different from just thinking about it. It is the job of the closing statement in this tradition to do just that. That's right, not magic or performance, just letting the truth be told in the world it belongs to. You are the chosen one who made it all the way through the wilderness to today. Because you were chosen, your roots are now deeper than any enemy that will come against the new season. You are the chosen one, and your Kainos awakening starts today and never ends. Now there is silence, the calm authority of the end. There is no longer a new emotional high or another wave of intensity. There is only the silence of something that has been sealed, the silence that comes after a statement that doesn't need any changes, conditions, or more explanation. It's the quiet that makes you feel full. That's how it is. Yes, not only these words are part of today, but so are many other things. After a declaration, there is silence. This silence captures something that the declaration itself cannot fully capture. When there is silence after a truly sacred moment, it is different from when there is silence after a dramatic moment. At some point after reading these words, you may feel calm in a way that you weren't feeling before this message. Not a lot of joy, not the short-term emotional high that comes from a well-made inspiring experience. Something calmer and longer lasting than that. Something that doesn't depend on how you feel staying. There is something that just is, like how tree roots are there no matter what the weather is like, wind, rain, or sun. That feature shows that the formation season is coming to an end. Not the feeling of being okay, but the actual structural okay-ness that doesn't depend on the feeling. That's what was being built every day in the wilderness. The rootedness that holds even if holding isn't needed right now. That's what you're doing today. It also doesn't depend on what comes after this message. You bring it with you into the rest of today, into the talks that are waiting for you, and the choices that you need to make today or this week. These are the rooms where the new you will meet the people who will know you in the new season. It's not because of this message that you carry it. This message just named things that were there. What was already there from working in the field for so long? Because of the oil that was poured into a room that not many people saw. As people stayed true in the desert, they built something strong that could handle the weight of this new day. This message has nothing to do with what's going on now. It's about what you do with tomorrow and the day after that. It's about whether the child's posture stays with you after reading this message and into the specific, everyday days that follow. It comes down to whether the statement made today will be the foundation for each month's and each year's today. That's the main question this message is trying to answer. What you build from here, not how you feel right now. The story this today is the answer to that question. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected, faith-filled community at the link in the description, and pinned comment, a place where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided e-books and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.